7 money traps to avoid in your 20s. Being in your 20s gives you a feeling of total adulthood. You've just escaped from your teens and branched out into another phase of your life. However, what a lot of people in their 20s fail to realize is that with adulthood comes responsibilities, some of which you didn't bargain for. One of these responsibilities is the management of your finances. You must learn how to earn, spend, and save your money. Yeah, you're all grown up, and you can make so many decisions all by yourself, but are you making the right ones? It's common to see many people in their 20s make terrible financial decisions. These decisions range from career choices to how lavishly they spend money without recognizing the need to invest now and build for the future. In this video, I will share with you 7 money traps you must avoid in your 20s so you can avoid the mistakes I made. 1. Disregarding the future. Yeah, it's cool to live for today, since tomorrow isn't promised, right? As true as that may be, there lies another truth. You are still alive, and hopefully will be for a long time to come. For this reason, it is of utmost importance to plan for your future. When I say the future, I'm not just talking about your 30s. I'm talking about your 50s and 60s as well. Do you plan to buy a house? What about investments and retirement? These are all aspects of your future you shouldn't disregard. I don't think you'd enjoy paying rent when you're in your 60s. I also assume you will want to begin to work less as you grow older. It's wiser to plan for your future now, then reap the benefits later when your body is no longer strong enough to take on the tasks of someone in their 20s. 2. Living without a budget. This is a major mistake many people make in their 20s. You really can't take control of your finances if you don't draw up budgets. You need to balance your monthly income with your monthly expenses. Draw up budgets and set limits to the amount of money you spend every day or month. Doing this will help you save money, both in the long and short run. Many may assume drawing up budgets means depriving yourself of some of life's pleasures, but that's not true. If you like going out for drinks once or twice a month, then fit that into your budget. That's fine, as long as you can afford it. Drawing up a budget is only a means to keep your spending in check, especially if you're the type that loves to go on wild spending sprees. 3. Taking too much credit and not paying back on time. This is very dangerous for a person in their 20s, as poor credit management can leave you struggling to pay back debt even when you're in your 40s. Maintaining a good credit score is important, but how can you do that when you're $20,000 deep in debt? When you're in your 20s or in any age bracket, really, set limits to the amount of credit you take. The lesser you owe, the easier it will be for you to pay back. Do your best to pay back any current debts before taking any more credit. It will take a lot of discipline to properly manage your credit, but certain strategies can help. I recommend you use a payback chart when you take credit. 4. Not demanding what you are worth. If you run your own business or work for someone else, a time will come where you have to push for better wages. I know you think it's easier to just accept what your clients or employers offer you and move on. I personally do not agree with that, especially if your skill set or expertise can match up to better salaries. Yes, I know how uncomfortable it could be to ask someone who's been paying you a certain amount of money over a reasonable period of time for a raise. However, that moment of discomfort is well worth the extra sum of money it can get you. Don't be afraid to negotiate for better fees, especially when you know you're worth it. Trust me, if you're really good at what you do, your employers or clients will know your value. They may even be shocked that you haven't asked for a raise all this time. Be sure your skills can match up to what you're demanding. If not, no one will pay you higher fees, and of course, be reasonable in the raises you ask for. Once you do receive that rate increase or raise you've been wanting, it means you'll have more money to save and invest in your future goals. 5. Keeping up with unnecessary pressure. This happens to a lot of people in their 20s, especially in this era of social media. You see a friend on Instagram showing off their new expensive watch, and you feel the need to do the same. Maybe you see them posting pics of their new car, and you feel the need to do the same, even when you really can't afford it. Doing this will hurt you financially. Stick to buying things you can truly afford so you don't run into unnecessary debt. In fact, who even says you need to buy all the expensive things your peers do? I'm not saying you shouldn't spoil yourself and enjoy the good things life has to offer. You should, but only when you can truly afford them. Imagine taking out money meant for investments just to buy a fancy new watch so you can post it on Facebook? What a terrible idea, right? Listen, you don't need to buy rounds of drinks for everyone in the club just to show them you're doing great. You're awesome regardless of what anyone thinks. Think about this: when you go broke, do you think the people you show off to will be prepared to bail you out? Your guess is as good as mine. 6. Reckless spending. This could fall under the bracket of showing off, but it isn't necessarily the same thing. When you spend ridiculously just to show off, you're doing it for the sake of others to notice you, but when you spend recklessly, you're doing it because generally, you have no control over your spending. That's indiscipline. It's okay to take yourself out every now and then, especially when there's something tangible to celebrate. However, that doesn't mean you should go berserk and buy out the bar. A person who has a habit of spending recklessly will not be able to save money, period. When you are paid, keep some money on hand for your routine costs and put some away into a savings account. It's easier not to spend the money when you don't think about it. If you can learn how to control your spending in your 20s, trust me, you'll live like a true boss when you're much older. 7. Failing to save for emergencies. How important are savings? Very important. Have you ever been in a situation where an emergency that was totally unplanned pops up? If you haven't, then pay attention. Nothing is worse than experiencing a financial emergency, and you have no money saved to handle it. Financial emergencies can include anything from medical bills to repairs for your car. If you find yourself in a situation like this, it means you have to call as many people as you can to help you out with the emergency. Guess what? They may not be able to help you in your time of need. This is not to say your friends or family members are stingy. It may just mean they can't help at that particular time. What I recommend is that you save yourself the headache of having to ask for help by saving for emergencies. As I've mentioned earlier, when you earn, be it your salary or payment from a client, be sure to put a percentage of that money into savings. Do this regularly so that when such financial emergencies occur, you can have something to fall back on and solve the problem at hand.